Hello there, welcome to Hard Copy, where we bring you the people behind the news. I'm Maupe Ogun Yusuf. Now, last week, we started a conversation with Dr. Oby Ezekwesili, co-founder of Transparency International, a former federal minister, a former vice president for Africa at the World Bank, co-convener of the Bring Back Our Girls movement, and founder of the Red Card movement. If you missed the beginning of the conversation, please log on to channelstv.com/programs/hard copy. Now, this week, we bring you the concluding part of that conversation, where we home in on Dr. Ezekwesili's time at the World Bank, asking if Nigerians are right to view the Bretton Woods institutions with some suspicion. But first, she speaks on the need for collective action. So you've spoken very extensively on the need for citizens to hold the leaders accountable, and you've shown that by example. But some people will say, I'm not Oby Ezekwesili. I'm a small somebody somewhere, and nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's even going to know that I'm asking the questions.
Which is why collective action is important for citizens. When you are able to act collectively, the voices stop being small. They become cohesive. And when they are cohesive, they actually make a big difference. I say to people that live on a particular street, when was the last time you actually stood somewhere on the corner of your street and looked at all the services that government ought to be offering you and which are not being offered? And one of you decided, on the basis of an agreement of all of you, to take that up with the relevant body. That's what accountability is about. It's not, it's not rocket science. There's this friend of mine, Elie Wiesel, a Nobel laureate, Nobel Peace winner. He died now. He died last year. And Elie Wiesel said he's the author of Light. And he said the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. An indifferent society is a society in decline, perpetually.
Just wondering now, would you say that you're now beginning to get political? I mean, you have maintained very, very strongly that the Bring Back Our Girls movement was not political. Mm-hmm. You wanted one thing and one thing alone, bring back our girls. Mm-hmm. But now you have started another movement. Can you really then say, have you thought about the impact and the fact that it might not be to begin to link it and say this is beginning to get political?
No, those who want to link it will link it, no matter what you said. We spent most of the years, even up until today, with people who say, you shouldn't have done BBOG because it was a scam. And I've had to say to them, so the young women who went to school and were taken, you're saying that it never existed? Because our campaign is that there are victims in this thing that happened, and they needed justice. So people will talk. When it comes to BBOG being apolitical, a citizens movement that has a singularity of purpose for justice of rescue for Chibok girls, that you cannot impeach. That's what it is. We've not done anything other than that as BBOG. But I'm a person of many parts. So one part of me is the part of me that has been consistent on the issue of our getting good governance. One thing that I know by virtue of my scholarship in public policy is that good governance is the greatest obstacle to the development of many of the countries.
You don't think it's going to have any effect on the Bring Back Our Girls movement? Has been an apolitical movement?
No, it wouldn't, because I am not the only person in Bring Back Our Girls. Consistently with Bring Back Our Girls, what we've done has been to engage the government in power on its constitutional mandate.
But you're seeing increasingly that members of the BBOG are getting involved in political movement. So, for instance, we have Aisha Yusufu, who is leading the One Voice movement. We saw her, only recently enlightening citizens on the need to register to vote and own their PVC cards because it's their voice, it's their vote, and things like that. So, and here you also leading a red card movement saying we're dissatisfied with the political.
No, I'm going to get you now. I'm going to get you. Do you know how I'm going to get you?
Aren't this all linked?
Didn't you just simply say that there is freedom of association? I don't understand why you sort of think that by virtue of us standing out there and crying for rescue of girls that were abducted, we lost our political right. Is that what you're suggesting?
But I'm wondering, what is this love-hate relationship you seem to have with the police and the government? One minute, they're escorting you down to Asa Villa and you're, protecting the movement. The next minute, you're being harassed. Or sometimes with the government, you're being taken to some Bisa forest or the guided tour. What precisely is going on? Are there any back of the same, notes that we're not aware of that affects what it is we eventually see on television?
When you find out, please let me know, because we also don't understand it. You remember that during the era of the previous administration, we had many run-ins with the police. We got to the point where the then AIG Mbu, who was the Commissioner of Police for the FCT, banned us. According to him, he banned the movement from holding any rallies, And we went to court, and the Federal High Court sitting in Maitama judged in our favor. We won the case, and and even after that, police would try to stop us, and we would assert our rights by saying it's a democracy. We have many freedoms. We have freedom of voice. We have freedom, meaning freedom of expression. We have freedom of association. We have freedom of peaceful assembly. So you can't take away any of these. And so we have always, you will say that also, that this movement has been so well organized on the basis of core values that we worked together from the very beginning, because we didn't want our movement to be a nuisance to society.